Welcome to Venusian Soul Tarot. Today I'm back with a timeless pick a card reading and it's going to be your next chapter. So I want you to cast your gaze over the cards and ask your higher self which card has a message for you. We have pile number 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. If you need to pause the video to meditate further, please do so. But for those of you who are ready, let's get started. Hi Group 1. Now, your next chapter, I feel, is very blessed. Like you're coming into a time where I just heard the healing has paid off and everything starts to come into alignment for you. I just get this beautiful energy. I'm also hearing this song. I think it's Mariah Carey. I Can Make It Through the Rain. I think it's like, I can make it through the rain. I can stand up once again on my own. And I know I'm strong enough to mend. And this is what I'm getting. It's like, I just heard with initiation by water, I'm getting this energy of healing complete. It's like the scars of the past or the trials and tribulations. For some of you as well, you're coming into a really beautiful connection and union. For those of you that, are not interested in romantic connections, these can be soul tribe, friendships, but I'm seeing you having really positive, loving connections around you. And that could be different, especially if in the past you've attracted in, I don't want to say toxicity, but potentially like you could have attracted in people and situations that were more lessons or had a karmic element. It's like your connections or the type of people that come towards you is vastly different to what you've experienced previously. But for some of you, this is a beautiful connection, like with the star as well. It's like divinely orchestrated. Some of you as well, I'm hearing, could have had a period where you were very much either on your own or you had to be in solitude. Not only in terms, some of you literally could have been single or have been single, but others of you, you may have just needed to pull back from other people or from the world for a period of time where you were doing a lot of intense healing. And it's like you're coming out the other side. And with the 9 of Swords and 10 of Swords, I just heard it, there's an end to fear. If in the past you struggled with fear, overthinking, or the past kept repeating, do you know how like our mind can keep replaying the things of the past, the things that have hurt us? You may have had trouble as well breaking free from certain emotional patterns is what I'm hearing. With initiation by water, this could be, I'm getting the energy of someone or a situation that has wronged you or that was very painful. And it's like, when we keep replaying it mentally and we keep feeling, whether it be that anger or resentment or frustration or just hurt, right? Hurt is beneath anger in the first place. But there's a sense that it's like the wound has healed. They're showing me like scar tissue where it's fully healed over now. So it's like you've finally released and transmuted these energies and they can't touch you anymore. But it's like that change in your energy field is also shifting what comes in for you, but especially the way you interact with people. Like you could have had a period of time where it was challenging to trust others, or I just keep getting this energy of solitude where it's almost like you had to go into, being shown like the mountains. And I'm not saying you literally went into the mountains. Some of you may like to go hiking or go into the mountains, but I'm seeing like someone going into like on the Himalayas or whatever, going into a mountain and then like they come out completely transformed. That's what I'm seeing. So, and again, the mountains could just be like your home, your sanctuary, whatever resonates with you. But it's like you've gone into this like healing cocoon and now you're emerging. And can you see how this man is rising out of the water? That's what I'm getting. It's like, things have completely healed for you. Yes, I know life can throw challenges and growth is ongoing, but I just feel like the things of the past or the things that used to shake you are not going to affect you in the same way anymore. I just really feel for this group. You've done an immense amount of inner work and healing and release, and it's creating a lot of change for you. And it's like these cards should technically be here, I feel, but it's like the sun is emerging. You could have literally been in winter, like wherever you're located and living. So it could have been winter and now it's coming to spring and summer. But this is metaphorically speaking, it's like you're coming toward the light, the sun. Yeah, like you may have had to be submerged in the emotional body, I'm hearing the darkness, your inner darkness, and it's like you are confronting and transmuting these energies, and it's like the path ahead now is clear. You may still be coming out of this cave or this cocoon. Like, I'm getting the energy of someone that's just like stuck their head above water, or they're just peering out. So you may not feel as though you fully left this cycle, but you're coming out of it is what I'm hearing. I just keep hearing healing complete or transformation complete. Some of you do have a really beautiful relationship with, like, the Star, 2 of Cups, 10 of Cups, like really beautiful. But it's like you had to kind of be completely healed or whole within yourself first. I feel like some of you as well, if at any point on your journey you didn't feel as comfortable in solitude, it's like now I feel like this energy where you may really love your alone time, or you may love spending time with self. And it's like, as you gain more comfort with that, people are more attracted or wanting to be around you in this next cycle. And again, that won't resonate for all of you in terms of love connection or romantic connections, but just in general. Because I also feel there's going to be like a loving community around you, or at least you're going to have several really close connections, like soul tribe, soul family, who really support you. I also notice we have 10 of Swords, 10 of Cups, so 10, 10, and you also have 10 here. Dove of Peace, stay in the heart, all is well, be at peace. Yeah, I'm hearing that song, Here Comes the Sun. And that's the thing, it's like that's what I want to say, your next chapter is harmony. I just heard peace on earth. Like, there's a sense of like breathing a sigh of relief. Like, I can breathe again. Or I can see, now I'm hearing, I can see clearly now the rain has gone. I can see all obstacles in my way, but I feel like those obstacles you've transmuted. And I do feel for this group, there was at least one significant situation, or potentially multiple from the past, that may have really shook your faith, or really challenged you, especially emotionally, because I'm getting this energy of very heavy, deep emotion. But I'm hearing as well, you're free to fly. So it could have been as well, there were certain connections or situations placed on your path karmically that were designed for you to transmute aspects of self and your own energy that would have either kept you stuck or would have held you back. And it's like these were divinely orchestrated so you be free to fully soar, is what I'm hearing, to live a life that deserves you, that's at the level that you wanted. So and some of you this peace you're gaining could be you reflecting on what has happened and why it happened, and seeing, oh, like, this is why things unfolded in this manner, or this is why I didn't meet the right people or connections earlier, because there was something that you were excavating or liberating within yourself. We have King of Wands and healing. Look, what did I say? Free to fly. It's like you have your wings. Gentleness of love, realignment, transformation. Yeah, you have grown the transformation has been immense, is what I'm hearing. So for some of you, you may even look at yourself and feel as though you're kind of unrecognizable, or you have changed so drastically that the energy is completely different. I feel like for some of you, you had to overcome a lot. Like, I just keep seeing, so it's almost like rewriting your history, or completely changing the energy or narrative of what has happened and then emerging. But it's like you're a complete new self. Yeah, but it's not really a new self. It's like you're emerging as your higher self, right? That liberated self. But it's almost like it took a lot of knocks. They're showing me an image of a pearl. It took a lot of, abrasions and knocks and, irritants to grow you into that. Yeah, it's almost like fertilizer. That's what I'm seeing. But it's like, yeah, some of you have had to, it's like you've cleared your whole history. Some of you, when I say history, I just saw like DNA and ancestry. So some of you have healed immense patterns from, childhood and different experiences. You've also had upgrades in your cellular body. We have Violet Flame, transmuting, breaking addictions, nervous system. And we have, with nervous system and 9 of Swords, you've had to transmute a lot of fear. Yes, within yourself, but it may have come from people or situations around you. I just heard feeling at peace, finally feeling safe. It's like I keep hearing coming out of the storm. So I feel like these challenges you've overcome have not been, small feats. I feel like they've been quite significant, or they could have triggered or generated a lot of pain or suffering through that process. But it's like now you've overcome this. Restructure, identifying, reframing, enhancing. Yeah, it's like you may take one look back at the past, or certain events from the past you may briefly replay in your mind, and it's going to be really evident. Okay, this is why such and such happened. This is why such and such had to leave my life. Or I don't know, it's like they're showing me like the lens has been cleared, and now you can see the purpose and the spirit, specifically the spiritual purpose behind it. Because at one time it could have felt like a lot was working against you, or things were just not moving in your favor. And it's like looking back and realizing, oh, like that's why it had to happen. Or this is why I keep hearing, this is why I didn't meet this specific connection or these connections at that time. It's like you understand. I do feel some of you have literally gone through, I just saw, I think it was 1010. Oh no, sorry, it's not. It was 1040 or something. You may be seeing repeating 10s though, because you already have 3 10s on the spread, but there's a sense of seeing clearly in regards to, okay, this was a spiritual lesson, or this is why I attracted certain situations at this time, or this is why things weren't moving ahead. Because I feel like while you've been in this, I want to say cave, cocoon, it's almost like things could have been at a standstill in the physical, and you could have been wondering, am I on the right path? Am I doing the right thing? Because I do feel for some of you, this healing is so immense that it could have taken, like, I'm hearing a couple of years. Not for all of you, but for some. I'm also getting you've been through certain upgrades in terms of your chakras and your energy fields, because especially I'm getting energy around the crown and the third eye. Okay, you have harmonic resolution. Oh my God, you have another 10. So you have 10, 10, 10, 10 on the table. Negativity, anger, transmutation. You have transmuting here as well. So yeah, transmutation complete. There are a lot of really dense, heavy, darker emotions and energies you've had to, I just heard neutralize, but you had to transmute within your own being. And I feel like you've done a great job. I feel like your spirit guides and your spirit team are so proud of you. And this reading is almost like a congratulations for a job well done. And I feel like you've come out of it beautifully. You also have throat portal, speak your truth, courage, suppression. So there could have been some healing around the throat chakra and your ability to communicate your needs. You may have had situations where you felt, I know it says suppression, but I just heard stomped on or pushed down, people that I just heard steal your power. So there could have been situations where you felt, I want to say diminished or even unseen. And it's like you had to see yourself clearly. You had to be that support for self. And then that's what changes the physical. Look at the card you have. Transformation. Yeah, I just keep hearing for you, transformation complete. It's like your arms are open wide. There may be a connection to like the sun or, light codes from the sun. I just keep seeing golden energy. You could have literal golden energy in your aura and in your energy field. Yeah, and the other color is violet and gold, I keep seeing. But it's like you've made it out of that. And it's like, look at the hands open here, and then you have the hands open here. Like you're ready to receive, you're ready for the new. And I'm also hearing your future is going to be nothing like the past. And I keep hearing balance in connections, being seen, reciprocity. Look, and you have romance and connection. So you have the 2 of Cups, the 10 of Cups, and romance and connection. So for a lot of you, this does involve, you could have had a lot of karmic relationships. I'm not feeling only in the sense of romantic. It could have been like family, romance, like from a lot of different directions, but your relationships are changing, and I see balance, peace, harmony, spiritual alignment in your connection. Look, solitude. Once you embrace the inner divine and your own sacred solitude, the right people arrive at the right time, exactly on schedule, without forcing or chasing. And this is what you're mastering as well, how to really build and love your connection with yourself, to not need others, to not try to rush the process, to not try and forced connections that aren't meant for you, but it ties into what I was saying about you having epiphanies on why connections didn't work out in the past. You may literally meet someone or multiple people, and it will become so evident why the door was closed to others previously, because I'm just hearing there's so much more in alignment and there's such healthier connections. Positivity. If you can find even one thing to be grateful for, it will restore you to the light. Please, dear God, let me always feel gratitude for something, even a tiny thing, in even the hardest situations. I feel like that's exactly what you've done. You kept your focus on the light, no matter what spirit threw your way or what came your way. And I feel like I just saw 15:15 on the timer. That's what you're being rewarded for, I think, is your gratitude, your faith, but also seeing the positive enabled you to keep going, where I feel like a lot of people would have either lost faith or would have become discouraged. And it's like, now, but look, you got a match here as well. It's like, I just said finding your own species or finding people that speak your language. There's a sense of really coming into union and harmony with, your soul tribe, with a beautiful divine union, people who are alike spiritually and energetically. And you may be seeing repeating sixes as well. But I just keep getting beauty, harmony, and peace in this next chapter. So that's all I have for you. I hope this reading resonates, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Hi, group 2. I'm hearing for this group, you're in the midst of transmuting some really heavy energies. And it's like transmuting these energies are necessary to liberate your future. So I do feel like at the moment, if you are feeling this hangman, like you're a little stuck, or I don't know, like the energies aren't flowing, aren't moving as well, it's because it's like you have to come out of this period of healing and inner alchemy before moving ahead. Now, I wanted to grab another crystal for you, but I kept staring at that smoky quartz. So again, there's that focus on transmutation. And you did choose a card with Christ consciousness. And we have a number 9 here, 27-9. Yeah, it's almost like a sense of clearing. They're showing me someone transmuting and clearing emotions and residue from the past to make way for the new. So I feel for this group, I know this reading is your next chapter, but they're kind of talking about where you're at right now and how that leads into the new chapter. What I'm seeing is after the period of transmutation, I do see you working really intently with the 8 of Coins and Page of Wands on a particular project, or with Page of Swords, like a new idea, a new start, a new creative endeavor. There's something shifting in this new cycle in regards to, I feel, your career, your life purpose, your passions, and things are going to start flowing. But it's like these energies have to be cleared first. And I'm just feeling right now, I all of a sudden felt really lethargic, like my body was just really tired, and I don't know, like I just wanted to curl up and have a nap. Or you may have this energy where you're needing to kind of tuck yourself away and rest. Because with this as well, like 5 of Pentacles, you are also clearing any limiting beliefs. And it makes me feel some of this transmutation is necessary first, because what you're going to be called to do or work on or focus upon may be hitting up against certain beliefs you have, right? Like there could be ideas you have about how to make money, or, the right path for yourself that triggers some fear or limiting beliefs and would serve as a barrier or block, because they're showing me you literally being emptied out so that new energies, beliefs, a new beginning. It's almost like you're a channel is what I want to say. And the old energy has to be released from this channel and vessel, your vessel, to be able to create something. You're very spiritually and divinely guided right now, even if it doesn't feel that way, because there's this sense of don't resist, like go with the flow, don't resist, allow things to unfold as they will, because it is working. Well, it is, and it will work out for you, but it may not feel that way right now. Now, it's not the time to push ahead with action is what I'm hearing as well. So for those of you where you already know what this idea or endeavor or path is for you in terms of career and life purpose abundance, if you are feeling unmotivated and again, I'm not saying never take action, but right now at the point you're listening to this reading, there may be a need for more, I want to say healing and introspection, because you are transmuting a lot of energies. There's a lot I feel coming up, or a lot I should say that you're letting go of, you're emptying yourself of. And it's like when the time is right, things will start flowing again. Don't allow, I'm hearing, self-doubt to convince you or make you feel like things aren't working for you. They are, but I also am getting heart chakra energy where it's like you're dropping back into the heart space, or you're becoming more comfortable within the heart space. And from that energy, things are going to flow and move more readily. This group, it's all about trust for this new chapter, because they're almost showing me a dark tunnel that you have to tread through step by step before you make it through to the other side. And I feel for many of you like you're still in that process, or you're still on that path, on that journey, and there's a need to have faith and trust as you take those steps and those actions, that things are going to play out as you need. Yeah, everything is working for you, but it may not feel that way. And I'm feeling like I keep feeling your spirit guides and spiritual team hovered around you. Like I feel you have so much divine protection, and there may be some of you do have a connection with Jesus, Christ consciousness. I am getting that energy as well, but not everyone. But there's a sense of potentially having I also just heard Kuan Yin, like ascended masters or a ascended master that you work with that's also around you. But this is a huge transition point for you, and it's like they're clearing the path for you. And of course, when I say clearing the path, you have to clear your consciousness internally to clear the path physically, right? As within, so without. So that's what's happening to open the door to this next chapter. So your next chapter is one of transmutation, but they're showing me the chapter after that as well. Or I should say your current chapter is one of transmutation. We have forgiveness. And look at this guide looking over you. See bigger picture, trust and heal. Yeah, Spirit's coming through very strong, saying you need to trust, because it may look and feel very messy on the surface. And look, you have repeating 9s. So you are closing out this cycle you're currently in. And that next chapter, again, I'm getting a lot of creativity, inspiration. It's like your heart has been restored in your next chapter, where any wounds or emotional residue have completely lifted. So for some of you as well with forgiveness, there could be a situation specifically that they're asking you to take time to heal, because I'm getting that energy of your heart being cleansed, not holding any, it could be negativity or pain from past situations. And it's like, obviously, as you forgive another, you liberate yourself with it. And that's the journey you're on right now. Look at your second card. You have Restore. I mentioned needing more rest. Time out for you, nature, shamanic signs. And it's sitting above the 8 of Pentacles, which is obviously all about action. So there's a need here to spend more time potentially in rest and just being with self, and not kind of forcing yourself to take action or forcing yourself to move ahead before you're ready. Because I'm hearing when the time is right, especially those of you who have your eye on the prize in the sense of a particular path or project or business or something, something to do with your career, your creativity, your purpose, you may have that idea, but you may kind of need this time out first. And again, I'm hearing emptying out, so you're making way for this. It's almost an energy here of having trust and faith, though, that this path is meant for you and it will manifest in perfect timing. With shamanic signs, you may be getting a lot of omens. You may be getting a lot of signs because Spirit is working so closely with you. But when you look to the physical, in the sense of what's happening in your life or personally, you may feel like, yeah, but I'm getting these signs, but nothing is moving forward, or nothing is happening in the physical world, in the real world. Obviously, the real world isn't so real, but from a physical perspective, it may look like things aren't happening. But it's almost like Spirit is trying to support and comfort you while you go through this. Essentially, it is an awakening, because every time we ascend to a higher level, the residue of the past has to come up, right, for clearing. They keep showing me the heart chakra being cleansed. So I'm getting that very strong, but it's like all these energies are coming up to enable you to step on this new path. Yeah, and look, you have go with the flow. Divine Mother, Shekinah flow, detach, sitting above the Ace of Cups. And both these cards, we have that vision of water flowing, free flowing. But when we think of water flowing, I'm also thinking of tears flowing, allowing emotions to flow, allowing yourself to fully feel and let go and release completely. Yeah, you're going through a huge cleanse emotionally. I'm also hearing this is about having faith and trust that life is moving and working for you, not against you. Because if you look at the material world, it may feel, especially right now, that life isn't supporting you in a particular goal, direction, endeavor, or things aren't going to get better, or whatever it is specifically for your situation. And Spirit keeps saying, no, this is the path, or this is the process of you, coming into alignment with this, or you attracting, the right, it could be attracting success, abundance, the right people. It's like, this is how you get there, even if on the surface, it doesn't seem that way. And look, with the Page of Swords, you have creativity, self-expression, life is your canvas. There's definitely an idea or something you create or move towards in terms of life purpose, self-expression. It could even be entrepreneurial. There's something that I see you in your next chapter going full steam ahead with. It's like you get a green light with that Eight of Pentacles to start taking action, but I don't feel like it's right now. And again, it could be frustrating for some of you if you already have received this download or you already have this idea and they're saying like, trust, things are going to align at the right times. But I'm also hearing you're learning lessons around surrender and not trying to force life or force the timing, force the flow, and how to surrender into the flow. You also have higher perspective, the cosmos awakening unity. So again, you are awakening and shifting up to a higher, I want to say timeline, level of consciousness. And this is a necessary process to get there. Yeah, but they keep saying if you look out at your life, you may not realize this or be feeling this right now. There could be a sense of, things aren't working out, or maybe this isn't going to take off, or I don't know. I'm getting really strong doubt or fear bubbling up because I keep hearing trust for you. And it's like having perfect faith creates, I don't want to say perfect outcomes, but beautiful outcomes, right? Like there's something about perfecting your faith or trust and connection with the divine. And oftentimes our connection with the divine will deepen the most when we are going through those challenges or when we have to walk through the dark and we're not entirely sure of the outcome and we keep trusting and moving forward. You also have Heart Portal, receptivity, generosity, mistrusting. Yeah, it's like trusting Spirit with the Five of Pentacles beneath it. Trusting Spirit when it comes to you receiving, for some of you, abundance. What you're working towards or what you may be moving towards is obviously new opportunities in terms of career, business, projects, and more financial abundance. But it's like Spirit is saying, again, this heart is being cleansed. There's a lot of emotion that you're releasing. You could be releasing, as I mentioned before, lack or limiting beliefs that make you feel or would make it difficult for you to attract the outcomes you want, in the sense of, oh, I can't make money doing that, or maybe I won't be successful. There could be a shedding of those energies. And look, you have ask and receive. But again, her eyes are closed. There's a sense of trust. So prayer, meditation, really connecting with the divine could be really important right now. I keep hearing, don't resist what's happening, even if it looks like it's not working for you, because it is. And it's like right now there's a timeout and it's like you're purifying certain energies before coming into a cycle where things really start to flow. You're also mastering, again, magnetism, like Empress energy. How can I be aligned in my consciousness and draw it forth without having to force, without having to... You still will need to take action in the physical as you're guided, but it's not, panicked action. It's not like, oh, I've got to hustle. I've got to make this happen. It's not that type of energy. It's more someone who... I'm seeing someone who is a master of like meditation. Again, I'm getting, some of you could have like a certain spiritual practice, I'm even Tai Chi, yoga, something that puts you in alignment with that flow state, with receptivity. And it's like that starts to overflow into your life, because they just keep showing me like flow. It's like you're learning how to flow like water. And look, to confirm that, ease and grace, look at the water flowing. And can you see how content, I don't know what this position is. Is this a yoga pose? I don't know. But I feel like there's a sense of trusting the timing, allowing yourself to unfold or unfurl. I keep hearing not trying to force anything. And you have sanctuary. A sanctuary resides inside you no matter what is happening. This inner temple beckons you to enter. Take a deep breath, enter, and sit down on the throne of your own heart. Didn't I say something earlier about like it's like grounding yourself in the heart? I can't remember if I said that, but that's what I was feeling with this heart chakra energy. It's like your point of, how do I say, like with inner temple, right? That source within. It's like you're anchoring in your consciousness from that heart chakra and living and residing there permanently. This is more confirmation though that you need time to rest. You need time in meditation. You need time to connect with yourself, connect with the divine. For some of you, connect with, whether this be Jesus or an ascended master that you connect with, and compassion. As you pray each day for greater compassion, a new self is born, drawing new people and experiences. Dear Lord, help me feel ever deepening self-acceptance. May I see myself as you see me. Yeah, really having compassion, but compassion is awakening. And again, I'm getting that reference to Kuan Yin. Compassion is really blooming in the heart space to new levels for you because of this healing. It's like you are going through like a heart chakra and a higher heart chakra awakening or upgrade. And it's like you are going to experience more emotion potentially, but there's a sense of experiencing higher vibrations from that, or a higher emotional set point. Okay, so that's all I have for you. I hope this reading resonates and I hope you have a beautiful day. Hi, group 3. I feel like for this group, you're moving into a really beautiful chapter where I'm seeing like creativity, self-expression. For some of you, even potentially travel or movement, relocation. I feel like all of that is coming in. But just be aware, I'm hearing you're going to be shining very bright. And your energy and aura is going to be so bright that there may be a little bit of, with 7 of Swords, animosity, or, you know, it could trigger people, right? Being in this light. Not that it really matters, but just as a side note, I feel like you're going to be some of you could really be seen, like you're doing something with your gifts and talent. There's this, in this next chapter, you're really utilizing your gifts and talents and you're shining in them or with what you're doing. And we have this sunstone here as well. But it's like, because you're really going after, you know, your passion, your dreams, your ideas, you're taking action. I feel like, yeah, like with Knight of Wands, it's this go-getter energy, but it's not in a way of trying to force. It's almost like from divine flow. I see this creative flow where you're going to be getting so many downloads, so many visions in terms of what you want to create or what you want to do in the world. It's, I feel like this year, your dreams may really be coming to the forefront essentially, or your dreams are coming true. I do see a level of action or work, but it doesn't feel like work. You've got really strong Empress energy. So this next chapter is going to be very abundant as well, or has the potential to be very abundant. But it's like it all comes from you. It all comes from you radiating. It all comes from you showing, you know, your true self, your nature. I don't know, your confidence. Like in a past cycle, you may have had to really work on self in terms of self-love, self-confidence, not being afraid to like put yourself out there or being seen. Like I feel like if you had in the past any issues around, you know, self-love, self-worth, like you have well and truly alchemized that energy. And it's like this new chapter, I just see you like firing on all cylinders. Yeah, you've really come into your own or come into yourself. And it's like this energy and this self-love is creating I want to say a ripple effect, but it's almost like you have this aura around you where people are really drawn to you because of that energy that you're embodying. With the King of Coins, I see you being still quite grounded and practical though, in terms of like say you have a particular talent or a business or a project you're working on, there's still a level of, I want to say, structure or discipline in regards to how to bring it into form. Because I feel for some of you, these creative ideas or gifts, they may have come from spirit. I mean, technically everything is the manifestation of spirit or source consciousness, but it's like I'm seeing someone specifically getting downloads or prompts on where to go and what to do next. So you are working in unison with the divine, and it's like you're going to be feeling like, yes, I'm finally on my divine path. Or there's an energy of feeling completely in alignment with who you are, what you're here to do, and what feels resonant for you. Yeah, it's like you may have a lot of epiphanies or clarity, a lot of answers. Now, your first oracle, you have unlock your gifts, sacred gifts, energy senses, pure love is the key. Again, I feel like a lot of you will be either making money from your gifts, or you could be starting new projects relative to your talents and gifts. There's aspects with that key, there's aspects of yourself that you've unlocked in previous cycles of healing and self-love. And because you've done that work, it's like things flow a lot easier and more readily than they had previously. I feel like for this group, you have done an immense amount of work on self, and really, I'm hearing having confidence in yourself, but also trusting in yourself and your gifts. Because the greatest barrier to using your gifts, especially to the level where, you derive an income or you gain success, is often confidence, right? Our faith in those abilities. And it's like, if you had or struggled with self-doubt in the past, I see you in this energy or this position where you really are feeling confident in, your capacity and what you want to do, in who you are. I just get this energy. They're showing me like, it's almost like this nomadic, free-spirited, like some of you could be like a digital nomad, or you could be doing something where it's creative or entrepreneurial, but it's kind of online. So you're like moving around or traveling. Others of you, this could just be you going on a trip, but I just feel like this beautiful, free-spirited energy where it's like, I go where the wind takes me. I'm not technically, because you are being guided, but to others, it may just look very free and liberating. And I don't know, I just get this beautiful, expansive energy from you. The other card you have is Blu-ray Being, direct divine expression, bridge between dimensions. What people aren't seeing, it's like you may be kind of walking like all over. Like if someone was to watch or look at your path, right, it could look kind of messy is what I just heard, but it's like it's perfectly guided. It's like things have happened and are happening in a way that's so synchronistic and perfectly aligned for you, but it doesn't make logical sense. That's what I'm getting. So don't be, and again, I do feel there could be some projections or judgment of others. And some of it's just because your light shines so bright, it's like it illuminates their shadow, right? We're in the presence of light, that darkness sometimes comes up. And that's what I'm getting. Not in a scary way, just in the sense that people, you could like trigger people to feel a level of jealousy, or some of their emotions may be bubbling up to the surface. But again, that's not your problem. But I just feel like, or some people could be projecting fear, like, what are you doing? Or why are you going there or doing this? Like they could be trying to put you on a more, or encourage you towards a more normal path, whatever that even means. But there's a sense of you just staying true to yourself and trusting yourself. And again, with the Five of Cups, I feel like you've had your share of disappointments, or, you've had that, how they say failure is a stepping stone to success. You could have had other projects or business endeavors or, things you were engaging in that didn't quite come to fruition or didn't manifest fully in the way you hoped. But it's like you kind of brush yourself off, got back up, and you're ready to go. Yeah, look, we have rewild. I keep hearing wild and free. Druid, tree keeper, perception versus reality. It's like really understanding your own freedom and creating, I'm hearing, a lifestyle or a path that liberates that freedom. Again, some of you are definitely born creatives, entrepreneurs. I'm not seeing or reading within your energy like someone that like does great with like the daily grind or like anything that's too, like your style may be less structured. That's what I'm trying to say. Like even how you create or how you operate, or even how some of you may work for someone else, but you may suit being, for example, a freelancer, or you may be like, you can do your job from anywhere in the world. So you have the freedom of location. That's what I'm getting. Some of you may want to live a more simple life in the sense of like living closer to nature, or you may want to live in alternative housing, whether this is like a tiny house or I don't know, it could be anything, but I'm just seeing movement. You have golden apple. Rewriting, Queen Codes, Her Story, Healing Distortion. You have successfully healed any distortions in your self-image and who you believed yourself to be and what you thought was possible. It's like your self-love and self-worth is now, I just heard top notch, like you're wearing that crown, because can you see here? I know this is a crown of flowers. Some of you may literally love nature, because I'm seeing someone like wild and free, or you may travel to places where there's a lot of beautiful nature and scenery, but there's a sense in both these depictions of someone wearing a crown. And it's like this increase, when you love yourself to this capacity, it's like you just shine, you radiate, but there could literally be gold in your aura as well, because they're showing me there's been an expansion in your auric or energy field where it's like, it's almost like a halo, right? Like there's around the crown, especially, there's just this golden aura and people may be really magnetized. But I also feel when I look at gold, I'm hearing this next chapter, you have the potential to be like a money magnet. I just see you attracting a lot of abundance. It's because you've shifted your consciousness and you're showing up in such a high vibration, but you may kind of make money, I don't want to say out of nowhere, but it may look a little unconventional what you're doing, or it's like people who are in the vibration of the ego and fear, it may not make sense to them what you're doing. I keep getting that message. You could be living a life as well that's very different to your community, to your family, to your culture. Like it's like something very unconventional. You have magical realms. Belief, confidence, co-creative power. Yeah, your confidence is next level, and that's what also is helping you to create and to manifest. But with co-creative power, again, you're being guided step by step. It may not make sense to everyone, but there is a kind of overall, there's meaning behind what you're doing. But I do feel there could be a lot of shifts and changes in this next chapter that look a little messy or may look chaotic to someone from the outside looking in, especially someone that comes from a place of fear and judgment. But again, that's not your problem. And quite frankly, when you're in this vibration, I just feel like any projections will just bounce off. I don't really see it having any effect on you. But it's like you've done such immense inner work. I just keep getting like self-love, like you having such a high level of self-love and confidence. And look at the other card you have, Crown Portal, Divinity, Unity, Separation. So again, huge activations around the crown and a lot of downloads, creative downloads, business ideas, ideas on how to attract more abundance. I think you had 8 here as well. You may be seeing repeating 8s. Yeah, you're definitely, this next chapter, you have the potential to attract a lot of abundance doing what you love, or attract abundance in an unconventional way. Online, digital nomad, as an artist or a creative of any sort. You could be using channeling or spiritual gifts as well. And look, you have listen deeply. I'm hearing listen deeply to yourself, not to people around you. And it's like tapped in. But that's what I feel. It's like there could literally be a guide or a spirit being that's channeling through you. Or at the very least, they are guiding you step by step. I keep seeing that for you, where it's like, even if others don't fully understand it, you are being prompted toward in a particular direction. You are being guided to take action at certain points. And it's like I just heard strike while the iron is hot. It's like, people on the outside looking in, it could look messy, but it's like you act at the perfect time, or things just unfold perfectly, and they're thinking, how have they managed that? Also, I feel like you're really good at handling change, like your sense of self, your sense of inner peace, even if the whole world is shifting around you, it's like you're still centered. Because we have here, look, composure. It's like you can balance all these energies with the Chariot. You can kind of take risks, but it's like nothing really throws you off, because I feel like it's primarily because your connection with yourself and thus the divine is so strong. It's unshakable. And that's what's enabling you to kind of come into alignment to this degree. But it may not make sense to people that, obviously we're all connected to the divine, but not everyone is as conscious or aware of that energy. So people who are not aware of it, this could kind of baffle them. Yeah, and also your faith, because when you're told to leap, it's like you go, you take action. But other people may think, you know, how are they not scared, or how are they not afraid of, whether it be like failing or move, you know, if it's about moving, like how are they not afraid of things not working out? Look, you have clarity. Let me trust my deepest instincts in all ways, especially when matters are unclear. May my own holy intuition always guide the way. And remember, I said only keep your own counsel. With the Seven of Swords beneath it, maybe, you know, this next chapter, you may not want to share everything with everyone. You may want to build in silence, and then, because I see you definitely putting yourself out there, and that's the guidance, but you may not ask people's advice about it. You may just put it out there when you feel the time is right, when you're guided, because it's like your intuition and your instincts are guiding you perfectly on this path, and other people may not understand or be privy to where you're going and how things need to unfold or come together. So if you put too much emphasis on their ideas or perspective, it could actually be a hindrance for you moving forward. And you have gratitude. Find just one thing you feel grateful for right now and let that gratitude pour through your body. It's a healing balm like the warmth of the sun. Hearing that song, you know, Following the Sun, you can always find me following the sun. That's what I get. But you could literally be traveling somewhere where it's sunny as well. But you have this like gold, you're like the sun. Like you are radiant, you magnetize at that level where it's like people just want to be in your aura, or it's like you have such an expansive aura right now. You attract in, I want to say, attention, success, abundance. Like, yeah, I just keep hearing magnetism. And it's also could be related to something you're creating, that people find that, you know, project or business or whatever career path you're on, it's really magnetic and you attract a lot of people. Wasn't the Empress here? Yeah, definitely Empress energy. You've mastered self as well. You've mastered your own energy field, and that's what's creating this, I want to say, overflow. So that's all I have for you. I hope this reading resonates, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Hi, Group 4. I feel like your next chapter, you're going to be inundated with synchronicities. We obviously have the 1111 card, but you also have synchronicity as your first oracle card. Now, and also like insights or downloads from spirit, like intuitively, it's like your psychic or intuitive abilities, or your ability to read the omens, the messages spirit is giving you, is next level. Yeah, I just feel like, but there could be some sudden, with Three of Swords in the Tower, I'm hearing there could be sudden changes and shifts or upheaval. And we do have these lightning strikes, but it's like designed to bring you into this new world, this new cycle, this new beginning. You have the World and the Wheel of Fortune. So you're definitely moving into a new chapter, and it's going to be beautiful. But the way you get there could be a little bit uncomfortable, or you may need to part, like certain aspects of your life or even your own consciousness may need to fall away first before you reach this new cycle, before you kind of step into the unknown. Yeah, they're showing me like a big cleansing. Look, you have lightning, lightning, lightning. Maybe Google search what is the spiritual meaning of lightning? But yeah, I don't know. There's something about, I do see you having a lot of jolts though. And like when I think of lightning, I think of insights, downloads, ideas. There's a lot coming through, I feel, with the High Priestess. It's like getting a lot of epiphanies or downloads or ideas from spirit that you wouldn't have normally you wouldn't normally consider, or there's something just like I keep hearing coming out of the blue. I don't know, this group, it's a bit hard to put into words, this next chapter, because it's very mystical. It's like Spirit keeps saying, like, read the omens, read the signs, the synchronicities, but it's like you'll get better at it, but it may be like quite mystical, this next chapter. Like it may, I don't know, like there could be a lot of change in the physical, or a lot of things you don't see coming. When I think of lightning, it happens very quickly. So there may be a lot of twists and turns, and it leads somewhere beautiful with the world and the Wheel of Fortune. I'm not being shown precisely where it's leading. It could be different for all of you, but it's like the way you get there is a bit, I don't know, it's like you have to read the sign. I'm thinking the crow, and I'm thinking of like psychic sight. Even for some of you, you may literally be clairvoyant. But there's a sense, it's like you piece together the signs. It's showing me like a map or a jigsaw puzzle. And it's like you piece it together and you end up at the treasure, which could vary for all of you. But it's like really unusual how it comes together. Or there's something, it's like you may venture into unknown territory to get there. You're also seeing things in a new way. Like some of you are actually peering behind the veil. Like there could be such synchronicities and mystical experiences that you have that it's like the world you once knew comes crumbling down. Some of you, this can also be an ego death, where it's like the person you once were, the way you once saw things, it's like vanished. And it's like now you're seeing things far more clearly, but I'm also getting the film The Matrix. It's like seeing through the Matrix, or a break in the Matrix. And it's like that enables you to move, because you can see so clearly, it enables you to move in a way that's very aligned, especially in terms of career or work. So for some of you, the treasure they're speaking of could relate to your career and your abundance. Or I just heard your manifestations specifically. So it's like, but it's like you need to know, it's like you follow the signs or the omens. Now I'm seeing the book The Alchemist, and the lead character, didn't he like travel around, and he was, there were signs along the way, and then he found the treasure, and it wasn't like buried in his backyard, which is obviously a metaphor for the treasure is within you. But it's like that journey helped to unveil it. That's what I'm getting. But it's like, I feel like I'm speaking in riddles, and I'm having trouble giving a really clear, this is your next chapter, because it's it's like it's hidden, but you have the psychic sight to reveal it or see it. I don't know. This reading's a bit different. Yeah, like there's going to be a lot of unknowns, or you may have to venture into the unknown, out of your comfort zone. You may be called to do certain things. Like you may have random like lightning bolts of ideas where it's like, okay, go here or do this. And it may make no sense, but then it comes together in a way that things align perfectly. But you would never have thought that. I don't know. It's like, it defies logic is what I'm hearing this next chapter. And it's like some of you may have like a windfall of success or something that opens up to you, but it's like if people were looking, they'd be like, how did that happen? Like what is going on for them? I don't know. It's very, very mystical, very unusual. I feel like you're going to feel like a brand new person. Also maybe search the spiritual significance of crows. But it's like like one version of you, like your 3D self may literally be dissolving, and it's like you're stepping into 5D consciousness. This is what I could be describing as well, where it's like this transition point where the way you saw the world or the way you once were, it's like now you're your multi-dimensional self. And it's like you can see all these timelines or pathways ahead of you. Some of you are profoundly psychic or clairvoyant or tapped into spirit in whatever way you receive these omens and messages, which is why this path, it's almost like some of these may be challenges to really initiate you into deeper spiritual sight, like looking beyond the veil. And I don't know, this energy is trippy. You may have experiences as well where it literally feels trippy, the way things come together, or there's something where it's like, what is going on? I don't know, like it's like one reality is closing out, and it's like you're stepping into this vast new reality. You're going to feel like you're living a brand new life and you're a brand new multi-dimensional self. That's what I feel. It's like, yeah, it's very unusual. It's like you may also find like your history or things you used to do or connect with just fall away. Like you don't resonate with things or people anymore. Yeah, just brand new energy. Now, your first oracle is synchronicity. Opportunities in divine timing, open to change, divine outcomes. Now, for some of you, spirit isn't revealing everything or showing everything, because this is a time, this next chapter, of trusting the unknown and trusting your instincts and your, I almost said physical side, but you're going to have to trust your spiritual side, because it won't be evident physically. Like there'll be signs, but it's like your interpretation or your ability to see through the veil is what's guiding you. Now, with the Three of Swords and the Tower, though, I will say, if you feel like, oh, why did such and such fall apart, or why did this situation leave my life, trust it, because I do think spirit is there are going to be upheavals and shifts and changes, but it's for the best. We have another card about like omens, attune to nature's signs to find your way, follow your heart. With the Tarot, it's like you're going to be guided to fully invest in and trust your own instincts. Like there may be situations that come in with the Tower where energetically you sense like this isn't right for me, or this isn't aligned, or this person isn't, I'm not connecting with this person to the level I want to. And it's like you're going to have to trust that knowing and instinct and act off those subtle energies. It may not be clear to you in the physical or by physical sight. It's going to require a lot of trust in yourself, but it's like you are, I don't know how to explain it. You are leveling up. You are, I just heard really growing and evolving in this next chapter. And again, it's like you enter a brand new world or dimension and brand new timeline. You also have above Emperor, show yourself, vulnerability, self-worth, feminine healing. So there could be some healing because it's sitting above the Emperor. The Emperor obviously represents divine masculine energy. There's a sense of, number one, balancing the masculine and feminine within you, but you may be changing your approach to life, where if in the past you had more of a structured approach, or even your lifestyle you may have had a very structured schedule, or very, even like maybe more conventional, or there's something about your approach that was more linear, more 3D. It's like you're tapping into this feminine way of moving through the world, which is obviously intuition, flow, trusting spirit, trusting yourself, that energy. You have play as well, more fun, jokes and laughter, please. You're also in this next chapter, because this is sitting above the world. I see you, yes, having more fun, more joy. It's like you're, how do I say, like with the Emperor, I'm seeing someone have their hands on the steering wheel, and then you take your hands off and you allow life to flow and unfold through you. Now, when I say take hands off, you're still going to need to take action when guided. I'm not saying, oh, don't take any, but it's like you're not control. It's almost like spirit is has their hands on the steering wheel. And it's like you're reading the signs, you're following your guidance and your prompts, but it's like throughout this next chapter, you may be like, where is this heading? Like I can't see the outcome, and it requires trust. Because you also have here exploration. You also have repeating sixes. You have 666. Again, a lot of synchronicities, especially with numbers. We have exploration, boldness, unknown, limitless. So again, your mind is changing with that King of Swords, but it's like you're stepping into the unknown, or you're venturing beyond what you considered, I just said normal, or like the world you once knew. I don't know. This is kind of trippy. I'm almost getting like jumping timelines, or like astral travel, like very multi-dimensional, like the energy is really intense with this group. You also have the Promise, 38. So you have 11, 11, 11, 11. Soulmates, attraction, partnership. Now, for some of you, this could be with the Wheel of Fortune, this could be leading you towards your divine partner. But there's also a sense of like just following your own path, like not expecting anything, and then they just appear. Like there's an energy of things appearing. It will feel out of nowhere, or just being surprised by what shows up in the best of ways, where it's really beautiful. Yeah, and you also have do the work. So I do see you taking action as well, but again, it's from a surrendered place. How you go about creating, working, building has completely changed. There's something to do with career here though. So some of these changes or stepping into the unknown could involve either career changes or prompts to work on your career. You also have Mother, Father, God. This is for me is like, yes, universal source energy, like integration, but it's also huge manifestation energies. Sitting above the High Priestess, it's like you're going to be prompted intuitively to act in a certain way or do certain things. Number one, because the time is right, but also because it's like you're moving perfectly in alignment with your soul's blueprint, and certain things or situations may need to fall away to enable you to step into this energy fully. But you're going to have a lot of power, like spiritual power, creative power, divine feminine power, where you're, I don't know, it's like tapping into cosmic energy to create something or to channel something down with that High Priestess. Like you're going to be guided in terms of your direction. Okay, you have aging. I am one with unlimited love, beyond all seeming restrictions of age. I am filled with joy, energy, and beauty, a vessel for the divine Shakti. But when you look at this, right, this is reaching a level of source consciousness where you're not identified with the body, with the 3D, with limitation. And that's what I'm saying. It's like you're stepping into this expansive version of yourself. You may feel more spacious or more free flowing. There's also more joy coming in. It's like you're learning to flow and move from joy rather than, you know how a lot of people will motivate themselves with fear or with, oh, I should be doing this. I feel like you're letting go of that, but it's like you're shedding old skin as well, like shedding an older version of yourself to come into this higher consciousness, this higher timeline. And look, you have work. I'm now available to receive all who can benefit from my work. Use me to relieve suffering on the planet. May all who need me find me. The divine is my complete source for all prosperity and will provide. Yeah, like complete union and working with source consciousness, going to the divine within to attract and create rather than trying to create or manifest things from the physical, from the 3D, from the linear. And it's like your approach is changing so drastically and it creates really beautiful manifestations and outcomes. But with the High Priestess beneath it, it makes me feel like Spirit is using you as a vessel. I shouldn't say using you, but you are a vessel for the divine, for something you manifest and bring in, but it'll be different for all of you. And I'm not being shown. I think it does have something to do with work and brings abundance, but I'm not being shown specifically what it is because it will vary. Some of you, there's a divine connection as well coming in, but I just feel it's like Spirit isn't revealing all the cards. It's like almost like an initiation where you're going to really be trusting your psychic and spiritual sight rather than tangible evidence, rather than logic or the 3D conception. Yeah, for this group, definitely this is like 5D consciousness and you're manifesting from the 5D where there's not a sense of like outcomes. It's more free flowing, right? So that's all I have for you. I hope this reading resonates and I hope you have a beautiful day.